Namaskar, students. I think all of you are very fine today too, right? Last time we read subject-verb agreement, okay? Subject and verb, they go together, right? They go together, agreeing each other, right? Subjects should agree with verb and verb should agree with subject in their number. It means if singular subject is there, then verb also will be singular, and if there is plural subject, then verb should be plural. That we had read in our last class, okay? So today, we are going to read the structures which we have to use for making plans and expressing intentions. Okay, there are different structures. You can see here, will plus present verb, okay, verb 1, will be plus verb ing, be going to, planning to, intending to plus verb 1, and be thinking of. Okay, these 4 different structures we can use for making plans and expressing intentions. Examples are also given here. All of you look at and then read. I think I will wear new dress. Okay, first one is. Next one, we will be singing and dancing. Okay, next, this type of structures also we can use for making plans and expressing intentions. Now, next one is be going to, planning to, intending to plus verb 1. I'm going to buy her gift. I am planning to borrow a book. I am intending to watch TV. Be thinking of. This is another structure we can use for making plans. I am thinking of going to club. Okay, in this way we can use this kind of structures for making plans and then expressing intentions. Now, all of you look at on your book, page number 10. Okay, there is a writing exercise. In that writing exercise, there are some questions. All of you have a look there. Do you like going on a picnic, an excursion, or study tour, etc.? This is the question you can read there. Excursion means a trip, okay, a short trip, a journey. So every one of us would like to go somewhere, okay? And in a group like picnic, excursion, study tour, these are very interesting for us for our leisure time. So I hope everyone enjoy that or everyone would like to go. So look at it, plan a study tour and write down the important points about the proposed tour, okay? Now just think for a while, when would you like to go? Okay, of course, if there is long vacation, then we think of or we plan some kind of tour or picnic, right? So maybe you have thought about some date. For how many days? If you are going for excursion or a study tour, for how many days would you like to go? Okay, you will write there. Now, where? Where are you? Where do you like to go? Okay, exactly the place, think about the place. Or you can talk with your friend or discuss with your friend and then write there. How will you go? Are you planning to go by bus or by air? Okay, and what things to see or do? What are the things you would like to see and you would like to do there? Okay, be in group and then discuss with each other and write these questions answer for a few minutes. Okay, then after we will see an example of a body part of proposed tour or proposed plan of the student. Have a look there in your book again. Here is a part of a written request that class 9 students of Asigram Secondary School gave to the head teacher. Okay, this is a part of the letter. We will learn about this, how to write a letter later on. Now just have a look and I will read and then you also read together with me. You have to find out what are the structures the students have used for making plans and expressing intentions. Okay, look at they have written in this way. The match will be played among the 4 houses in this school. Okay, it will start. Look at will start after school on Friday. We have requested Mr. Sulgen Chaudhary, our sports teacher, to help us conduct the match. Mr. Chaudhary is planning to ask 3 of our senior students to help him. Look at it, he's planning to. We are thinking of doing the preliminary round of the match on Friday. We plan to do the quarterfinal and semi-final on Monday, as it is a public holiday. The final will take place next Friday. The house captains are thinking of forming volunteer team of students to maintain discipline and help the match run smoothly. Okay, as Mr. Chaudhary has allowed us, we will be using the school playground and the ball as well as the net. We have also requested Mrs. Manamaya. She is thinking of being the umpire for us. Besides, she is planning to appoint 2 of the students to keep the score. We hope the play will be great. Okay, these are the different structures which we use for making plans and then expressing intentions. They have used here. Okay, now let's talk about how to write a letter, especially request for application. This is a formal letter. You are writing this letter to your head teacher. Everyone you have to keep in your mind. Okay, so this is a formal letter. Okay, what kind of letter are formal letter? The letter which are used or which we write to send for official purpose. Okay, for official purpose if we use, that is formal letter. And what about the informal letter? Informal letters we use for our relatives, for our friends, for our parents, etc. Okay, so here we are writing formal letter. We are writing to the head teacher. You have to keep in mind that. Now, first of all, talk about the format. What are the things we have to keep in mind while writing formal letter? As in book, there is given body part of the letter, but here we are reading or we are trying to write whole letter. Okay, so first of all, when you will write the formal letter, if you are writing personally, okay, at the time you have to write your address and then date. But this is not personally, one person is not writing. Whole class 9, you are going to write the letter to your head teacher. So for that, you don't have to write the address here. Okay, so you will start with the date. And one other thing I would like to tell you, some of the teachers, they tell that address and date should be written here, right? And then after salutation will be here. But now it is the computerized age, so it's better to start writing everything from your left hand side. Okay, so there will be no any kind of problem if you start from there. So look at here, this is a marginal line of your paper, of your copy. So you are starting from here. You will start with the date. Okay, so today is 2075, 12 and 20. This is the date. You have written first date. Okay, now you will leave 1 line space here. Then after, to whom you are addressing this letter, the person's post you will write. To whom you are writing? You are writing to your head teacher, the principal, okay? Okay, you will write post of the person to whom you are writing the letter. So, receivers, post, you will write. Then after, organization's name. You are writing your school's name after this. Just for example, Jana Jagriti Higher Secondary School. Okay, you are writing your school's name. After writing your school's name, organization's name, you will write address of this place. So this one is Salleri Solukhumbu. Okay, so this is the address. Now, if you wish, you can write the phone number as well. Okay, so if you write this much, this okay. So first you have written date, then after receivers, post, organizations, name and address. So 2 parts you have learned here. First date, then after the principal and name of the organization and address. Now again you will leave 1 line space. Then after you will write dear sir. Okay, dear sir you will write. So this is salutation. Okay. Subject you can write. If you wish, you can write subject, but it is optional. If you write also, it's okay. If you do not write also, no problem. If you would like to write, then you can write request, application for the request to go on picnic. Okay, you can write like this way. Now, you will start writing the introduction part. Okay, here you will write introduction, okay, then after leaving 1 line again, you will write body and then conclusion. Okay, so body part we had discussed, I had read there from the book, right? Now introduction and conclusion I would like to show from the chart. Look at here, this is the introduction part. This is only an example, okay? So everything, whatever it is written here, you don't have to follow. You can try from your own way as well. I'll also give you another example, okay? So here, only introduction and then conclusion we are going to discuss, because body part we had already done. So introduction, with due respect, okay, we, the student of class 9, would like to seek your permission to go for a picnic. You are planning to go for a picnic, right? So you are requesting to your head teacher through introduction, okay? About what you are writing, you have to introduce there in introduction part. Okay, once again I would like to read. With due respect, we, the student of class 9, would like to seek your permission to go for a picnic. We have planned to go to Nagarkot on 7th April. Okay, you can write Nepali date as well, no problem. So in this way, we can write the introduction part. Okay, introduction part should not be very long. Just you will introduce the question, subject. Okay, you will introduce and you will write. Now, after this, as I have told you, you will talk about the thing in detail. I told you to discuss, to think about when you are, where do you want to go, okay? When you are thinking of going, right? With whom you are going, okay? These are the things we had discussed in from the book. So those questions, those answers which you have written, which you had discussed, and then you had planned to go for a picnic, those things you will write in detail there in body part. Right? So conclusion is here again. We hope that you would be kind enough to grant us permission for our class picnic. Okay? You will write in this way. We would also like to request you to be the guest at the program. In this way, 2 sentences only. Here also we had written very short sentence. Okay? I mean, not very long type of you have to write, because this is the formal letter. Formal letters should be short and then very clear. Okay, your intention, what do you want, you have to write there in short. So here also in conclusion we have written in this way. This is an example. So as I have written here, introduction, body we had already discussed, and conclusion is here. So after this, what will you do? After this, you will write subscription. Okay. Wait for a minute. Okay. After this, this is the part, okay? This is marginal line. You just think that after this is, okay? So you will write yours sincerely. Okay, this is subscription. Okay, look at after conclusion, you will write subscription, that is your sincerely. Then after you will write class 9 students. Okay, so this letter is written by whole class 9 students students, so they all are writing here yours sincerely. Okay, so you should not forget first letter here also capital and here also capital, and then after this you have to write comma, and then you have to write in this way. If you are writing personally, then you will write your name and then signature as well. So in this way we write formal letter. Okay, so the main part, let's once again look at here. First you will write date. Why you are writing only the date? Because this is not only one person. This is not written by only one person. In group you are writing, so you will write this one first. Date you will write without writing the address. If you have written, only one person had written, so they have to write at the time address and date. So date you are writing, then after receiver's post. Sometime we may not write to the principal, we may write to the class teacher, right? Or we may also write the vice principal. At the time you have to write the same person's post to whom you are writing this application. Okay, so the principal, Jana Jagriti Higher Secondary School, this is the organization's, your school's name, and then address of the school. Then after subject, if you'd like to write, then you can write the subject. Okay, if you do not write also no problem. If you write subject, then request application for the for going to picnic you can write. Then after dear sir, an introduction, body and conclusion you will write, as I have given you examples there. And after the conclusion you will write yours sincerely. This is subscription, and this is there is class 9 students. This class 9 students have written this later, so it is written here. Okay, I think you have got some idea. Now once again, the next one. Pause गर्नु होइन कि अघिको त्यो मैले स्लाइडमा बनाएको चाहिँ त्योभन्दा पछाडि थियो नि त्यसको पछाडि चाहिँ थियो Okay, now I'm going to give you one more example of writing later. Look at here. This is the introduction part, okay? The students have written in this way the letter of application to the head teacher. The school will close for summer vacation next week. We want to go on an educational trip. We want to see the most beautiful city of Nepal, that is Pokhara. We want to see Fewa Lake, mountains, waterfalls, etc. there. In this way, the students have written an application of request to the principal for educational trip. Okay, this is introduction part. Now look at body part. On our way back, we want to see Manakamana temple. This trip will be very useful to us. It will give us first-hand knowledge of geographical, social diversity of the country. Social studies as subject will become an interesting for us after our visit. Okay, so in this way they have written body part. Now the conclusion part is, look at here, the trip will cost rupees 3,000 per head, and our parents have agreed to bear the expenses. Okay, expenses means the money which they will spend there. Our English teacher has agreed to take us to these places. 30 boys of our class will go on this trip. So this means that here boys means the school boys are planning to go. They are not including the girls here. Okay, you have to know about it. But we can write here altogether 30 plus how many girls are there. We can write 30 boys and 20 girls, or how many girls are there, of our class will go on this trip. We hope that you would be kind enough to grant us permission and arrange this trip. So in this way, conclusion we can write. Okay, as you have seen that introduction, body and conclusion, all three parts are given there, and other thing are there in board. So in this way, we can write formal letter. So now, I'd like to give you 5 minutes time. So within 5 minutes, all of you look at there in your book, okay? Look at your book on page number 11. There are two different questions, okay? First question we are practicing in class, okay? The example which I have given, they are similar to the question given here, and the last one you will do yourself at home as homework. Look at here, look at your book, refer to the points you have thought about your study tour. Before starting reading the body part of the letter, which is there in your book, page number 10, we had discussed about some questions like, do you like going on a picnic, okay, or excursion or a trip? That question we had discussed, and then there were 5-6 different questions, okay. So not only as a whole with our friends for educational tour, we are planning to go somewhere, but also we plan to go some other places as well, okay. So the questions like when, When will you go? Okay, this is the next question. Look at here, this one I'm going to rob. Don't be in confusion. This is SEC, school. Okay, so only look at here. So when will you go? When you would like to go, you will discuss with each other. Then after, where? Where will you go? This question you have to think about. Now, next one. What will you be doing there? This one also you have to keep in mind. What will you be doing? What is your intention? What is your plan to do? You have to write there, what will you be doing? I think all of you are looking at, it is on page number 10, okay, in writing part. So the next one, what will you be doing there? Okay, and how will you go? Okay, as I have given you example, by air you are thinking of going, or by bus. Okay, how will you go? Then next question, you can see that what things you will see there. What is your plan? All we are discussing about making plans and expressing intentions. So you have to think about or your intention. Okay, what is your plan of seeing there? Okay, the scenery, the mountains, the lakes. What are the things you would like to see? You will think about. And then if you are going for educational tour, for how many days? I'd like to roll this one. For how many days you are staying there? Okay, like this kind of questions you have to discuss, and then discuss in group and write the similar type of application letter, request for application to the principal. Okay, first one, when you will go. As I have told you, think about some long vacation, and then you can request to your head teacher or your class teacher so that they will grant your request. Then after, when will you go? Okay, the certain place you have to decide and then plan. What will you be doing there? Okay, what are the things you would like to do? Okay, you have to think about that. And how will you go? Okay, you are planning to go by bus or on foot or what? You will think about it. What things you will see there? Okay, the thing which you will see, if you write the specific thing, then a specific plan if you make, then you may get grant. If not, you may not. So for how many days you are staying there? Okay, you will think about it as well. Now, and then after deciding this thing, you will start writing. So look at that in your book. Here is telling about, refer to the points you have thought about your study tour. Use the same languages as you used in the plans above. As I have told you, the languages, 4 different structures we had discussed about the languages which we can use. They are I have shown you already as well. Now again, have a look. Structures for making, plan and expressing intentions. These structures, these languages, you have to use and then write. I think, or I don't think, and will plus verb 1. Then after will be plus verb ing, and be going to, planning to, intending to. You can use this language and then be thinking of. So using the language given there in your book, you have to use. Okay. you should use the same language as you used in plans above and develop the points into a couple of paragraphs. As I have given 2 different examples of writing later, okay, you will follow the example and accordingly you will write a couple of paragraphs. You can include what time what time you plan to leave, okay, you have to give the specific time, how many of you are going there, and the teachers going with you, and the money you are raising for the tour, and the different arrangement you will make. So these are the things you have to mention there and then write accordingly, okay, using the language given here. And after doing this, you will again write an application to your head teacher informing him or her about your study tour. Include all your plans in it and also ask for the help you would like to have. Is an example here, request you to be the guest at the program. Okay, in this way, what kind of role you want from your head teacher, you can write there. Okay, so remember these things and accordingly you will write. Now once again I'd like to rub this and then want you think this thing. How many parts are there? 1, 2, and then 3, 4. This is the whole letter. 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So these things you have to keep in mind. Once again, I'd like to rub and then I'd like to ask you. Everyone will remember and then write, okay? So what are the parts of this format of letter writing? First one is heading. In heading, what you are writing? You are writing address and date. Then after, you will write the post and address, name of organization, and address. You will write about the receiver, okay? Then after, subject is not compulsory, it is optional, you can write, or if you do not write also no problem. Then after, you will write salutation, okay? Then after, you will start writing the letter. First, you will write introduction part. Then after, you will write body part. Then after, you will write conclusion. And then subscription is the last part. Okay, in this way, we will write everything. You will start from left-hand side. Number 1, this is, this one, number 1. This is number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. In this way, if you numbered, then it will be easy for you to remember. So based on this, you can write formal letter. Whether it is for formal letter for writing other official purpose or you are writing application for the request, you can use the same format for formal letter. But for informal letter, there is another type of format you have to follow. Okay, I think you have understood, you got the idea. The thing which we had learned today is the structures for making plans and expressing intentions we had learned, okay? And then after how to use these structures in our real plan, we had discussed about it. And then we had also learned about formal letter writing, how to write the formal letter, and what are the things we have to keep in mind while writing formal letter, or what is the format of formal letter we had learned about here in this class. Okay, I think all of you have understood about the writing of formal letter. So we will start new chapter in our next class. For today, this much only. Thank you so much. Namaskar.